Hi everyone, it's Liz with Edmund Designs, and today I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques that I use for curling the hair for my flower dolls. The supplies that you're going to need are wooden dowel rods, some 22 gauge wire embroidery floss, wooden clothespins, scissors, and an oven or a toaster oven. So the first style we're going to go over is what I use for my ethnic hair or black hair. So this is going to be like a kinky fro style. I'm using my 22 gauge floral wire, and as you can see, I've just wrapped over the tail end of my embroidery floss, and this means that it doesn't require anything to hold the end. You have to be a little bit careful. Sometimes it can end up wrapping into balls. And you want to make sure that it's laying flat against the wire so that you have a consistent curl. I'm just going to wrap until I get to the end, and then when I get to the end, I'm actually going to bend over the end of the wire, and that's going to hold the embroidery floss in place, and I will snip off the excess embroidery floss. Usually I get 6.5 lengths of wire out of one skein, sometimes 7, and each of my dolls, whether it's a mini doll or a regular size doll, requires 3 wires worth of hair. You can see here I'm folding it in half. That is just because of the length of, or the width of my toaster oven. And you're going to soak them in water and then bake for 1 hour at 175 degrees. Here you can see I'm just very gently unrolling the same way that I rolled my floss on. And this is so that I'm not pulling too hard and straightening out the hair. I don't do this immediately after pulling it out of the oven. You're going to want to wait. I usually let mine set at least an hour or once they've cooled off. To attach the hair to my doll's head, I use a hot glue. I found that it has too much of a spring to it for the tacky glue to really hold it well. And if any of my hot glue is really showing through, I'll actually just take a black paint pen and go over it, and that helps blend it in so that it isn't showing. The next type of curl that we're going to do requires dowel rods. I use these from the Dollar Tree. They come in a 12-pack. They are 1/4 of an inch. And what I do is I take a skein of embroidery floss, I hold it between my thumb and my forefinger, and I wrap it around my elbow. I'm able to do this 9 times with one skein, and I use 3 strands at a time to wrap around each dowel. So for this size of dowel rod, I can get 3 dowels out of one skein of embroidery floss. And I'm going to do what I've done on the wire as well. I am wrapping over the tail end. And the effect that this is going to give us is more like when you curl your own hair. You have very distinct curls, and I think that's the kind of look I've gone for with this style. Whereas when you're wrapping just one strand at a time, it's more of a natural curl. You're going to put a clothespin on the end, and then just like the wire, you want to run the whole thing under water, get it nice and soaked, and bake it in an oven at 175 for an hour. Then the final type is what I mentioned before, which is a more natural curl. And you're just going to wrap a single strand around your dowel. I'm wrapping over the ends so that it will be held in place. And then once you get to the end, you're going to hold it with a clothespin. So I hope that helps and gives you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Bye.